Hello everybody, what is up? My name is Chinasaur. Welcome back to Funday vlog number 19. So it's been a very long time since I've seen you guys. I missed you. How you guys been doing? I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's watched a recap video. I put a lot of work into that and a lot of scripting. I don't know where my pages are at, but if you actually watch the full video, I written like a 9 or 10 page script for the whole expo. A lot of work went into that. Those pictures take forever to put together. Thank you guys for watching. It means a lot to me. I will get to the questions in a little bit. One more thing I also forgot to mention. Big thank you to Machinima and Steven Larson for retweeting my video earlier. I tweeted Machinima earlier and I said, hey, my channel is so close to reaching 400 subs. There's also a giveaway to win some free games. Retweet please. And they actually did it. And within an hour, I basically went from 32 views to 100 views. And I got a lot more comments on that video. So big thank you to Machinima. My Twitter literally exploded. People were excited to win these games. I was gone for 15 minutes. I went to the bathroom, came back, and my Twitter was just blown up. People really want to win free games. I can see that. So thank you, Machinima. And thank you, Steven Larson. I did not know they would retweet it, so that really surprised me too. I will get to the questions in a little bit, so let's talk about the channel. So Chinasaur, what's going on with the channel? Well, I just finished all my GameStop Expo videos. I had a few Titanfall videos come up on the channel. Did a Far Cry 4 Arena video. I had Chinasaur's Road to the GameStop Expo, my swag bag, and the tour of the GameStop Expo. So there's a lot of videos out there. I think there's at least 7 or 8 videos for the GameStop Expo. I highly recommend you guys go check those out because they did really well. I'm surprised each one of those videos got between 30 to 80 views. That's a big improvement. Normally in my other videos I get 0 to 25, so that's a big increase on the view count. Big thank you. Also, last week I was nominated to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Yes, I know it's pronounced ALS, not ASL. Sorry, I get my words confused a lot. I didn't notice that. If you actually watched that, when I was talking, I said ASL, not ALS. I fixed that in editing and wrote it in annotation and wrote in the comments down below just to correct myself. Other than that, what other videos have I been doing? Last week I attended the Simpsons Hollywood Bowl. There's 5 videos on the channel. Those did really well too. They basically got between 20 to 60 views. I highly recommend you go watch those because they're pretty entertaining. Now, I'm sorry the video was a little bit shaky, so here's the problem. So this was the camera I had to record on, and it has real good zoom, but this is only 10 times zoom. Now, this is not normally the camera I record on. If you see my GameStop Expo videos, I record on this camera, but the difference is, like, the zoom is pretty good on here, but the quality at nighttime is really shit. This camera has really good nighttime quality, so I had to use this camera instead. As you can see, it's kind of hard to hold this camera still. There's nowhere to put your hands on. You literally have to hold it like this. Now with this camera, you can put your hand through here. There's a little strap, and bam, you can hold it still like that. It's easier to handle this camera. This camera, on the other hand, is a little bit more difficult, so I'm sorry those videos are a little bit shaky. I did my best. Besides the Hollywood Bowl and the GameStop Expo, I also attended NVIDIA's Game 24 event. That was out in Santa Monica. I will have videos up for that coming out this week. I'm basically rendering them all right now. I'm uploading them each day, so expect new videos. Also, Farming Simulator, I will be editing more videos starting tomorrow. So things to do in Farming Simulator will finally be launched. I know it's been about 2 or 3 weeks now. Sorry about that. I've been really busy. I haven't had time to edit all those videos. Enough about channel stuff. Let's talk about the GameStop Expo. All the channel stuff is done. I told you everything I've been doing. I told you all my new series coming out, which is 1 right now. Actually 2, including the NVIDIA event. Alright, moving on. Time for the GameStop Expo Q&A. Now, there was a lot of questions in the comments. I had about over 17 comments in here. Sadly, I was only able to choose 5. Now, if you watch my recap video, I basically stated out, I will not answer duplicate questions. A lot of people were asking me what my favorite game was. That's kind of common. That's pretty simple. I was not able to answer those. I chose 5 though, so we're gonna go down the list. Disclosure, if your comment gets answered during this video, I will DM you on Twitter and we will talk about what game you want and I'll send you the code and be done with that. It's kind of simple. If you see your question being answered on my vlog, we will talk more on Twitter. So let's go down the list. So the first question I chose from the comic section, David said, okay then, question. Did you feel like despite getting access to E3, was it actually aimed at you, a gamer, not just filling the floor to make it look good for press and advertising? Does it justify the extreme length it takes of dedication and luck to get access? Good point, David. So my friend Eddie told me this wasn't the first year Microsoft has done this. This is actually the second year. Okay, David, so here's the deal. Last year, Microsoft actually had this event going on before. I didn't know that. It was only for 50 people, not 100. Because when I got in, they let 100 people go. But last year, they had let 50 people win raffle tickets, which is what I did. But they were only able to attend the Xbox conference. They weren't able to go to E3. This year was the second year Xbox allowed the people who won raffle tickets to go to E3. Last year they didn't do that. There's a lot of rumors going on. Next year they're gonna have to do the same thing. Microsoft is gonna allow 200 people to go to E3 and to the Xbox conference. Either I can get in through that again or the machinima, depends. I really want to go back to E3. It's gotta figure out how. That's kind of a secret. I don't mind telling it because it's not so much a secret anymore. Well, it was when I was told, but then it got kind of blown up. Next year they're doing this too, but it's to 200 people. It's the same system, but they're adding 100 more people in. So in a way, it kind of looks good for press. It's filling up the show floor because they were really targeting us to head to the Microsoft booth, because the whole entire time they were there, they kept saying, go check out the Microsoft booth, go check out the Microsoft booth, which isn't not a bad thing. I think it was for exposure. Like, they really wanted to have more Xbox fans in those booths. That was kind of the whole big deal. It's not a bad thing. It does look good for press, but that's kind of why they want you to go. And that's why they were telling us to go to the Microsoft booth, which I did. I went all 3 days. I played different games there. So hopefully that answers your question. I'm going to try to do that again next year. Hopefully I can go back. All right, second question. Let's go down the list. This question comes from Razor. He asks, what is it like going to the expo and finding a random team and coming in second place? It must have been an awesome time. Yeah, here's the thing. I didn't expect that. My friend Christian took a lot of videos and pictures of that whole tournament. I didn't know what to expect. I seriously just woke up in the morning, got in the Uber car, drove to Anaheim, and just basically played out the whole tournament. None of that was planned. If you saw my Titanfall videos, you look in the description, it even says none of this was planned. I didn't know Cameron. I didn't know any of the teammates there. There was 5 guys there. I'd never even met them before. We just happened to meet each other in line, and they were looking for 6 teammates, and they let me join. That was kind of the whole big deal, and we became friends after that. We actually still play Xbox together. I don't have Titanfall on Xbox One. I have it on PC. We do play Destiny from time to time. I am in contact with them, but it was just really random. That's why we called our team name The Randoms with a Z at the end, because we just randomly met each other, became friends, and we all played Titanfall before. Like, we are Titanfall fanboys. Sorry, but it's true. I played a lot in Titanfall in the past. Normally, when I play Titanfall, I'm always the best person on the team. I'm like 10 or 20 kills above everyone else. So I'm basically a one-man army, and I think all these guys were too, because they were telling me, yeah, whenever they get in the games, they dominate. When you put 6 dominating players into one team, you have a good team there. I never really got into esports until this. Like, this actually motivated me to get into more esports. Hopefully, I can get into more Titanfall tournaments eventually. I know the GameStop Expo is going to be held in Vegas next year. I'm not sure what tournaments they're going to have. Hopefully, they have Titanfall. Long story short, it was a fun time. Thank you for the question, Razor. I will DM you on Twitter for your prize. We're going to move down the list. So the third person I chose from the comments was Nate, and he wrote, out of all the release games you played at the GameStop Expo, which was your favorite and which were you most excited for? Honestly, I didn't play too many games at the GameStop Expo. Why? Because I played all of them at E3. I really did not want to wait an hour to play Evolve and to play Destiny, because I've already played those games at E3. There's no reason for me to play them again. The only games I actually played at the GameStop Expo was Lego Batman 3, Toy Soldiers, and we went to the Far Cry booth, but I didn't want to wait in line to play that game because we have already played it at E3. Honestly, I did not play too many games at the GameStop Expo. Like I said in my recap video, I was kind of hanging out with friends, filming, doing actual work. Out of the games I played at the GameStop Expo, I would say my favorite one has to be Lego Batman 3. Why? Because I played the shit out of it at E3, and I played it again even more at the GameStop Expo. Now, sadly, it's not for PC, so I have to buy it on Xbox One. To answer your question, it would have to be Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. I don't have a Let's Play coming out for it because I don't have a proper setup. I will DM you on Twitter for your code. Next on the list, Yeti Legs. He asked, what were the most popular booths at E3 and the GameStop Expo, and which were you most excited to see? Well, it kind of ties back to Nate's question, but it's a little bit different. I'm not going to answer the second question because I've already said it. It's Lego Batman 3. But I will answer the first one, though. I don't know why you wrote 2 questions in one. The most popular booth at E3 has to be Evolve. Every time I went there, that place was packed. They had that huge monster on the show floor. I'll put a picture on the screen right now. That was the most packed booth at E3, as I'm aware of. Destiny and Advanced Warfare were pretty packed, but here's the thing. Destiny was playable, but the lines were totally different. At least 100 to 200 people were waiting in line just to play Evolve. And Destiny had like 80 or 90 people. I went to all the booths. Evolve has to be the most popular booth at E3. Thank you, Yeti Lakes, for the question. I will DM you on Twitter for your code. Now, last on the list comes from Death Sentence 5. He says, first of all, I just want to say I really hope you accomplish your dream. Thank you. And my question for you is, was E3 anything like the GameStop Expo? Which do you like better? Now, this was a little bit of a different question compared to everyone else. He was basically comparing the two. No one else compared it. Alright, Death Sentence. My favorite gaming convention has to be the GameStop Expo. Why? Because E3 was a little bit more packed. Yes, they did have a lot of games, but the lines took forever. At the GameStop Expo, they had about 5 to 6,000 people attend. At E3, you have about 64 to 65,000 people. So, odds of you playing 5 games in one day is highly unlikely. I barely got to play 2 or 3 games a day at E3. At the GameStop Expo, you basically can play all the games you want because the show floor was not crowded. If you saw my tour video, not a lot of people were in there. And here's the thing, Anaheim Center is a little bit bigger than the LA Convention Center. Now, the GameStop Expo, they did not pack the whole floor. I seen a lot of walls up where they basically cut the expo floor in half. They had a lot of unused space, and all the games they had there were basically the same at E3. They had Evolve, they had Lego Batman 3, Shadow of Mordor, they had all the AAA title games at the GameStop Expo. Just like E3, but on a smaller scale. Here's E3, here's the GameStop Expo. The odds of you playing more games has to be the GameStop Expo, and E3 would be right here. Why? Because the GameStop Expo is targeted towards the fans. E3 is targeted towards the business people who actually make the game. So that's the big difference between the two. Which convention I like better has to be the GameStop Expo, because let's say you wanted to go to the GameStop Expo, you would have an easier time playing games than anyone else because the lines are smaller and it was just more enjoyable. So hopefully that answers your question. I will DM you on Twitter later on. So that basically wraps up the whole Q&A. Anyone who got picked during this contest, we will talk more on Twitter later on. One last thing before we go. Well, for the new viewers who are watching this video right now, I do a little segment, which is basically a talk about my life. So besides the NVIDIA event, besides the Hollywood Bowl, besides GameStop Expo, Chinasaur, what's been going on with your life? I recently just designed my own website. There's this website builder called Wix. It's www.wix.com. It's kind of like Squarespace, but it's free. It's not the most advanced type of website, but it's not too basic, but it just works for me. If you go to my website, there's a tab called Photos. All the pictures I've taken at the GameStop Expo, at the Hollywood Bowl, and the NVIDIA event, they're all in there. So there's this cool tab in here called Contact Me. Now what this tab is for, let's say this YouTuber wants to play Borderlands and he's looking for a YouTuber to play with. He can come here and contact me and ask me if I would be interested in working with him. And so this Contact Me tab is very useful for future Let's Plays, for future type of videos. So it's really useful. I highly recommend you check it out. And I also have an About page where it's basically like a little biography about myself. So if you want something new, I highly recommend going to this website. I think you will really like it. I put a lot of work in here. I will be adding E3 pictures in here. I just haven't had the time because it's a lot of work. It took me forever to add the GameStop Expo pictures and everything else. Still a work in progress. So besides my website, I've been playing a lot of Destiny. I just started live streaming Destiny on my Twitch channel. I seriously could have been live streaming months ago. I never had gold, and apparently Twitch is free on Xbox One. I didn't know that. Level 18. Well, this picture I'm showing right now is level 17. I took that last night. I'm playing as a Titan. I'm almost level 20. I know the game doesn't really start till you're like level 20. That's when the game like really picks up and becomes really fun, because that's when you get to collect all the armor and legendary stuff. So far, Destiny has to be one of my top favorite games of the year as of right now. That's probably going to change in the next couple months. Hopefully you guys been having fun playing Destiny, depending on what console you have. I have it on Xbox One, and I know other people have it on the PS4 or Xbox 360. I do live stream Destiny every other day. Yeah, I don't have a mic. Well, I kind of do. Okay, as I was saying, this is the mic I have to use when I'm playing Xbox One. And as you can see, it's a little shitty wired mic. It sucks ass. I'm sorry, it does. So the main reason why I can't live stream with the mic is because this mic sucks, and I rather prefer using Turtle Beaches. I do live stream a lot of Destiny, but it's basically pure solid gameplay. There's no mic included or a webcam, because I hate the Kinect. It's not worth the hassle of using it. That's basically what's been going on with my life. So thank you guys so much for watching my Funday vlog. I'm sorry it's a little bit of a longer video than usual. Thank you all for watching my recap video. I will DM the winners on Twitter later on tonight. Thank you again for watching my video. Please subscribe to the Pony Hour today, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!